So yeah, I called this meeting. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and start it.
All right. The meeting has officially convened.
Episode 5 of Are You With Me Right Now?
Oh, wow. This is episode 5.
It is. Are you with me right now?
I am.
Okay.
I'm back.
Today's been a day.
I've been a pile of steaming hot human garbage for like the last 24 hours.
Well, I mean, same.
So yeah, it has been a day. True. When you're a pile of hot garbage, you keep to yourself more.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
I don't.
Yeah, I usually just bury myself in vidya. In video games.
All right, you want to start off with your garbage juice report?
Yeah, sure. So it's become obvious to me that so I haven't watched porn. I have not masturbated since I don't know, let's say January 7th.
The day before we went out.
Probably, maybe even the morning of, who knows? Probably the morning of.
Gotta clean the pipes.
Yeah. And I don't know, a few days ago, I kind of just started itching to watch porn again. And I just kind of blew it off or whatever. But then, I don't know, last night, it was like really strong. Because I don't know, I knew that I was going to have like alone time, I guess. I don't know, because I mean, that's how it would always start. It's like, ooh, there's this old Kevin Hart bit where he's like, whenever his wife leaves the house, he's like, ooh, where's the laptop at? Where's the laptop at? I'm going to get it. I'm going to beat my dick. I'm going to get it. It's hilarious. And it's kind of like that, whenever you've got time to masturbate, you masturbate. That's what guys do. And
also what ladies do.
All right, well, that makes sense too. So
I used to post my shit all over Reddit. That's what I would do at home too. Continue.
True. I would just send my shit to other people, like to real people.
Oh, well.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Sorry, your tits weren't internet famous, I guess.
No. Well, no, they were local famous though.
Oh.
So
Ooh, no, I snagged that.
Yep.
All right, go.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I've kind of been on that lately, just kind of trying to like ignore that, I guess. I don't know what else to do with it. I mean, it'll go away, obviously, and it's kind of gone away now. I'm definitely feeling it a lot less strongly, that itch to go and masturbate and watch porn and all that stuff. And it's certainly not a new feeling. I mean, I don't know. I've certainly tried to quit porn before with varying degrees of success. And anyway, so yeah, I dug through. I did a really, really deep clean of my computer and my phone, and like all of my internet accounts, like my Drive and my Gmail, and my like Google Photos. I found that that's a separate thing from Drive. Sometimes it'll back up. Yeah, so that's clean too. Like, so I went and cleaned out all my shit just with this like weird energy that I had,
Yeah.
So I did that last night. I stayed up way later than I thought I needed to, but I mean, I wasn't going to be able to sleep anyway, not with, all of that in my head. But I feel better because of it. I'm like all of the temptation of the like ex-girlfriend porn and stuff like that is all taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that with a high degree of confidence. I mean, it was wild. Like the harder I dug, the more I realized like how embedded some of this stuff was. Like some of it was still like lurking in messages, like old messages. Some of it was like Yeah, like on my photos, I found some stuff like in the trash can. Maybe it seems like some Google things delete after 60 days, some of them after 30 days, but I mean, some of these photos should have deleted themselves longer than that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of crazy the depth of like unintentional backing up that I had done of some of these files.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I'm using a hard drive in my PC right now that's, I mean, it's got to be, whew, I can't even tell you. I don't know how old it is. It's got to be a
Mm-hmm.
decade old.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling with, I think I'm only using 4 hard drives right now.
Only.
But I mean,
I don't know.
I build and upgrade my PCs, and when I do that, I just, whatever parts are still fine, I still use them. So,
Yeah,
storage space is storage space.
that's fair.
So, thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
I think that's all there is to say about that. I mean, do you have any questions? I mean, what now? Where do we go?
I guess I'll just respond because that was like the beginning of my antsiness. Was you telling me this morning that you like swept through all of your shit and gotten rid of it?
And so why did that make you anxious? Why did that irk you?
I'm using the term antsy because it wasn't like full blown anxiety. It was just like that's a little itchy over there. Because it wasn't like it wasn't you going on Pornhub. It was like you had the urge to look at other people you've slept with before, which is like real.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, the temptations just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a general temptation. I mean, I could have looked at anybody, you know, somebody I knew, somebody I didn't know, you know, it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just channeled that energy towards making sure that everyone that I knew had clothes on in my phone.
For some reason. To avoid the temptation. I mean, it's like a real reason.
Sorry?
There's a real reason for that.
A real reason for what?
I'm laughing. You're like, for some reason, I felt the need to delete all this porn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was just it was definitely a weird time, you know, at 12 a.m., you know, when I've got to get up at like 7:30 and go to work to start digging for that. But I mean, I didn't know what else to do. So I don't know. I didn't really have control over it. I wasn't really like making a conscious effort to like, here's what this is on my list of things to do. You know what I mean? Because I've already made a couple of passes and gotten rid of all the obvious stuff and stuff that I knew existed.
I don't know. I mean, after midnight is just kind of when that happens. Like, that's when I fucking like purged my social media, and I've had to do it a couple times. I realized, I don't know, like last week, I was like, why are there still more subtle pictures of one of my exes on my Instagram? Just because I didn't realize, like, I took off all the ones with his face, but like, I didn't dig through and be like, oh yeah, I tagged him in this shit, or this was specifically about him. I mean, I don't know. That's usually like an after midnight thing when you're just fucking brooding about shit.
Well, when we first got together, didn't you say something like, yeah, I've got pictures of my exes on my Instagram? And I don't know. You made it sound like they were there to stay.
Yeah, my philosophy has changed a little bit. For a couple reasons. One being oh, my cat just knocked some shit over. Most salient reason being my most recent ex just kind of poofed out of my life because I started dating you. And
that's not uncommon, by the way. That's not like,
but like,
I'm not surprised.
That's fine, but that's not how he and I had agreed to run our shit. Like, that's not how I generally deal with my exes. Like, I've had genuine friendships. I still do have a very genuine friendship with a very, very old ex because we were best friends for a long time before we started dating. and he's dating the love of his life now, waiting for their marriage or their wedding invitation. But we're friends. Like, I don't know. But a couple different instances with more recent exes have been like, all right, I guess I can't trust y'all to be mature with your shit.
I mean,
So
I'm cool with a few of my exes. I mean, if I saw them, I'd be able to like if I saw them in a bar, I would definitely say hey to them. If the atmosphere were there or whatever, a conversation wouldn't be crazy or anything like that. But they're definitely no one that I keep in contact with.
you've also ended relationships in really shady ways, though.
I mean, not always, though. Not always.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you've
The
heard
impression I
about.
get from you is that most of yours ended because ex-wife popped back in and you just kind of whoop got sucked back into it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I would call that fairly shady if I were your girlfriend at the time.
I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, well, yeah, but that was, some of this stuff happened 12 years ago. So.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. It's not like ex who really fucked me over like in 12 years be like, oh yeah, we're all cool, like let's hang out and shit or whatever. Like, I'm still not gonna want to talk to him. I don't know what I'm getting at.
I mean,
Whatever, man.
okay. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever, man.
Some of them didn't end that badly. Yeah, it's because my ex-wife stepped back in, but the relationship still didn't end badly. It was still like a breakup, and then, hey, I'm back with my ex-wife kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know. I had more faith in my exes to be like, one of them actively wanted to be friends with me and like wanted to continue that, or I thought, and then whatever. He decided to poof, and that's been it for a little while. So I'm kind of just rethinking my philosophy on like keeping people in my life and how honest they are with me about their emotions and stuff. And as you know, X that really fucked me over like X 2 people ago, is being an absolute immature piece of shit. And he's always been a piece of shit,
I was about to say, I mean,
as we like to say.
that's kind of the story I always got from you. So,
Yeah, and now he's being fucking stupid and fucking up my 12-step group a little bit because we're so small. And I've got some animosity towards him. So I'm like, you know what? And this is I deleted these pictures a couple weeks ago, or I don't know, at least a week ago. So this hadn't happened yet or anything, but it felt nice to like purge of that because like I'm committed to you. And it's not like having those pictures up was like an act of infidelity, but there's no reason to keep them. Like, you're my dude.
yeah, I
Like,
appreciate that.
I'm not hanging on to other people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same thing. Like, you deleted your porn, I deleted like emotional evidence.
Well, actually, so part of mine was I in the back of my head I remembered that I had some archived Instagram posts, and
Yeah.
I had no idea how to get to those, so I'd kind of just let it slide. But last night I actually did take the time to like, all right, how do I find my archived posts, and how do I finally delete those? And off the top of my head, I don't fucking remember how I did it.
I didn't even know archived Instagram posts were a thing. What?
Yeah. Let's see. I can probably do it if I go back to it. Let's see.
I'm actually doing it now. I'm like, LOL, there are still things I haven't fucking deleted just because I didn't think about it. All right, where?
Oh, okay. So on the Instagram at the bottom menu, if you go to your own profile,
Yeah, that's where I am right now.
And then at the very top right, not the menu, but the backwards clock arrow.
Yeah.
That's your archive. And then at the top, you can change that between stories archive or posts archive.
Yeah.
And I had some archived posts because I archived them when I wasn't sure what was going on with my ex and me.
Does that like take them off your feed, but they're still there?
It does take them off your feed. I don't think anybody else can see them, even if they tried. But
they've got them like kept away for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you can like replace them if you want.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did find those, and I was able to delete those.
Oh, I unfollowed crazy stupid ex yesterday, and he's no longer on my Snapchat. Feels good, man. Like, I'm tired of you fucking watching me and having feelings about it. Hi, I'm a spiteful bitch. Continue. Like, let's move along. I think that's all of them. I'm looking through my posts now.
So
What?
your turn. I mean, continue. Like, what's So I mean, that's all I've really had going on, and honestly, I do. I mean, I feel a lot better about it now. I'm not like I'm still feeling it a little bit, but at this point, I'm definitely over the hump. Like, I'm just kind of
Hey.
like, yeah.
Pun intended.
I mean, kind of.
Okay.
This, I'm over the dick jerking, and
Over the beef jerkin.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the gram. Got some weird ass old pictures of my dad on here. That's uncomfortable. Okay. My turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all
Fucking
I've had
great.
going on.
Okay. All right, non-existent audience, get ready to fucking think I'm annoying and depressing because I am.
Fucking buckle up.
Fucking buckle up. It's my turn. Whatever. I repeat, I have been just a human-shaped collection of refuse today.
Oh, hey. So, real quick
What?
tangent. I
What?
was digging through your Instagram last night, maybe, or sometime recently. I think it was last night. Just I don't get on Instagram a lot, and
Yeah.
I was digging through yours, and I don't know. This is really. I've always been uncomfortable telling people this.
What?
But so this is a compliment, but I never know how
Oh.
people are going to take this sort of compliment. But it looks like, and I'm just saying this on the podcast, maybe so we can like break this ice for other people who aren't really sure how to come across with this. So don't, try not to take offense to this or anything like that. But so there were some pictures of you that were like modeling pictures or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Well, so I mean, they're gorgeous. I think they're beautiful.
No, I look. Oh, okay.
But in saying that, when those were taken in January,
Yeah,
they were posted in January.
They were
at least
posted late. Those were taken. Hang on. Are you like trying to get a timeline of when we started dating and stuff?
No.
Because I actually have. Well, now I'm curious because that happened like right before I met you. I thought. Let me see
Okay.
my text. Sorry, what are you asking me?
Well, I was just going to tell you, I mean, looking back at those pictures, it looks like you've lost a lot of weight recently. Like since we've been dating.
What?
Have you not?
No, I feel like I've gained weight. Fuck, I think those are terrible pictures. Like I hate those pictures.
Okay. They're gorgeous pictures. You look very, very pretty, but you look like you've lost weight since then.
I don't think I have. You saw me at urgent care. I'm fat as shit, dude.
I mean, I guess so.
Stop it. You like me.
I do. No, I love you.
When did I take these pictures? Yeah, I took those pictures January 6th.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 days before we met.
2 days before we hung out.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong then. It's so. I mean, another thing about that is that it's difficult for someone to tell when I see you as often as I do. It's going to be hard for me to be like, wow, you're losing weight because I see you all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or whatever. Any sort of like gradual change. Health wise.
Yeah, because we see each other every day.
Yeah.
Just about.
So I mean, I don't know. I know you've mentioned trying to lose weight and stuff like that. I mean.
Not doing a great job, TBH.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what sort of role do I take in that? Like, I mean, how often do I congratulate you or like, I don't, because some people are really, and you are not like self-conscious about your weight, at least not like openly. I don't know. You don't seem like you are at all. And you, compared to everybody else I've ever met in my entire life, you're definitely not.
Not what?
Like self-conscious about your weight?
Oh. I don't know. It comes and goes. Like, there are days when I feel gross as fuck. Like, I feel like I'm wearing a fat suit. But in general, like, oh my God, it's the worst feeling ever. I fucking hate it. But in general, nah, I guess I'm pretty chill with it. Like, I feel like I'm kind of cute.
Yeah.
But I hate those pictures because I'd never done a session with him before. That's actually a kink friend. And he's like 60 or something. Like, he's old AF, not like we fucked or anything. But he's just a kink friend that I know through the local group. And he is a photographer, so we took some pictures, and he doesn't know my angles at all. Like, I feel like you see me in pictures that I take, and I know where my face looks good and where it doesn't.
Well, the pictures he took are cute. I think they look really good, but
there's like one that I enjoy. Whatever.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Peace out.
Peace out. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so like I say, that's always such an awkward thing to try and comment on.
That's fair.
It's like, especially someone that you love, like, I don't know.
Flashback to that Bill and Nia Burr thing. Like, my girlfriend is super fat. What do?
Yeah. But no, I mean,
I know.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, you're not like unhealthy or anything like that. I just know that, you've mentioned trying to lose weight and stuff like that before. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because if you scroll down far enough, you see me in 20, I don't know, like 15. I lost like 30 pounds in a summer because I was tired of being fat. And it was the best. Like, holy shit, I'm really pretty when I lose weight. Like, fuck, I look like a real person.
You're really pretty all the time.
Nah.
You look like a real person all the time.
Just like incorrect, but okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm fucking wasting my 20s by being overweight. I hate it. Right? Like, I'm fucking ugly. Like, when am I, like, I'm gonna be 50 and be like, I could have been so fucking cute if I'd just done it.
I don't know. Weight's never been anything I've struggled with.
Yeah, because you're like one pinky's width around.
Well, whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I got uncomfortably fat one time, and so I mean, I just quit drinking soda, and because I mean, all I drank was soda. Like, I could, I mean, it was obvious like where I was gaining weight, and so I was like, all right, well, quit drinking sodas, and I mean, immediately I dropped 20 pounds.
Oh, here, more fucking pictures I need to get rid of.
I mean, it's fine. Sorry, I wasn't asking you to do that. I was just...
no, I've wanted to do it. I did that for me. Like, you've never pressured me into that. I'm just sick of like having those memories.
Fair enough.
Like, right?
All right, so
I'm just rethinking the fucking philosophy of like of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of my ex-wife's stuff. I mean, I realized, I don't know, not long ago, I've still got like her fucking wedding dress. She left it here.
Why do you have it?
She left it here.
Wow, must have meant a whole lot to her.
Well, I mean, probably not after, the divorce.
Okay, well, what are you going to do with it?
I don't know. What do you do with an old wedding dress?
Give it to your ex-wife and say, figure it out.
Okay.
This isn't mine. Please take it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that definitely was not any of the things that would have ever crossed my mind. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoever fucking paid for it, give them the decision.
That was probably me.
Oh, well, then throw it away. I don't know. Donate it. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at Instagram now.
Yep, and I'll stop interrupting you now. Go for it.
Okay. Last note on that. I don't think I've lost any weight since we started dating. Like, at all.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
mean, I keep getting weight. Like, when I go to the doctor, I have my fucking Doc Martens and all my clothes on, and I've eaten breakfast. So, I don't know. But, because I've been going to the doctor a lot lately, so they're all like weighing me or like, oh, what's your approximate weight? I'm like, I don't know, fucking a lot. But I don't know. My therapist gives me shit because I rag on my weight all the time. He's like, you're just carrying some extra weight. Like, you're not even like fat. Like, you're not even a thing.
Yeah, no.
You're just slightly chubby in a cute way.
And I hope that's not what it sounded like I was getting at.
Wait, what? Oh, no.
Okay, thanks.
No, I think those are incredibly unflattering pictures. So I don't think I look like that.
Okay.
IRL.
I think they're really pretty. I genuinely do think they're really pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, I've never really, that was my first like photo shoot ever. So I didn't know what to do, but it was fun. He's a nice dude.
He's got some creepy comments on Instagram, but whatever.
I know. He's really nice though. He's just old and he's old. I don't know. I'm already really socially awkward. I'm gonna be a fucking creep when I'm 60. Anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Like we're just talking about what the fuck's going on with us.
So much is going on with me. Whatever. Okay. Today has just been, that's what it was. I'm a human shaped collection of refuse. I have just had like just generalized fucking anxiety about everything. Like so many little annoyances and insecurities and worries just piled the fuck up today. And I broke. I cried so much today. I like cried my mascara off. Like I don't even have to take off my makeup now because I cried it off. It's gone. Let me pull up that fucking list you had me send you. I wrote it all down. That wasn't even all of it, but it's what I could think of during class. So I don't know. There was just shit weighing on me, like what we talked about last episode with my 12-step group and the stupid drama that my fucking ex-boyfriend is starting because he cannot handle his emotions and expects them to be everyone else's problem. And he's like making it a division thing. But I've been today, I just woke up and was like super disillusioned with the idea of group emotional sobriety. Like, is it possible for adult children of dysfunctional families to coexist and grow together in a group without making it dysfunctional? Because I feel like our group is getting so fucking dysfunctional because the older people in the program, like with more birthdays, they are not as active right now. And the new people are just filtering in and out. And the new people, such as this fuckhead that I used to date, he's not going to therapy. Like they're not doing step work. They don't have sponsors. They're just coming to meetings and expecting that to be enough. And so they make business meetings to deal with their own sick feelings instead of, or like putting them on someone else instead of actually dealing with them with their own tools. And this is not the only business meeting that's been like that. We've had like 2 or 3 that have just devolved into a narcissist, one of our narcissistic members, fucking telling us, like, just unloading their frustrations and being authority figures. I don't know. I'm disillusioned with that right now. And I'll be fine. I'll go back, but I'm taking a break. So that was just like the bummer of the day because our meeting was tonight. I didn't go, obviously. But that's like what I woke up thinking about. My house is a fucking mess. It is now super clean, or at least like as clean as it ever gets. I mean, it's tidy. Um, and then fucking that's been following me for like a week. And then at oh god, like 8:30 a.m. in my first class, we had some depressing talk about the low percentage of refugees that ever get resettled in the United States and like the fact that the vetting process takes like 3 years and people just fucking die in that time. Like refugees don't have thousands of dollars or documentation necessarily or 3 years of safety before they get resettled. Like people just fucking die in that waiting period. And in my fucking 10:05 class, we talked about selective abortion. And as someone who has like mental traits that have been selected against in the previous eugenics movement, like made me feel like shit, dude. You know, where does selective abortion stop? You know, now that we can edit somatic genes and their expression. Can we yet? I don't know. We're like on the verge. It's a thing. It's beginning. That technology exists and is being developed. Like designer babies are a thing. So I mean, yeah, you can probably edit out like polio or because people don't fucking vaccinate their kids. So now we got to do that. You can. Uh, Iceland is doing that actually with Down syndrome. They have almost a 100% eradication rate of Down syndrome. We watched a video on it because mothers that choose to, most of the mothers, like almost 100% of mothers that choose to get, I guess it's amniocentesis, uncertain, but they get a screening to see like the percentage or the chance, whatever, that your kid's going to have Down syndrome. And they pretty much all terminate their kids. And like, I'm pro choice. I'm not saying you can't do that. But if we start collectively like eradicating disabilities, like where does it stop? Where is the mental shit in there?
What's the
You know,
difference between that and natural selection?
I have been wondering when that was going to come up with us, because there's a lot of shit that you and some of your people like mention that's like, well, so what if people are suffering because like natural selection, or like it gives that vibe, and I've honestly been wondering when we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, some people just suffer. So you suffer.
Yeah.
People suffer. Suffering's natural. Suffering's normal. Why are we so hell-bent on saving everybody? People die. How long are you trying to make these people live? They're gonna die anyway.
Who's these people?
Anybody, everybody dies, man.
That's so fucking nihilistic.
So it's not. It's not. It's normal. It's natural.
So nihilistic.
People die. You're not going to keep people alive forever. I feel, given the choice, I feel like there is a large group of people who would keep everybody alive always forever. And that's no.
The only way to like make an argument with you is to make it about me or like your kid.
No.
Would you want me to be fucking exterminated because I have like mental health issues?
I wouldn't have known you. It wouldn't have really mattered.
Well, you know me now.
I do now, so that we can't really make an argument about that. Like if somebody were if this were Back to the Future and someone were going
oh, I see what you
back to euthanize you, then yeah, I'd try to stop them, I guess.
That's not what I mean.
But like,
well, if you're, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody were like, "Hey, your kid's gonna have Down syndrome and you're gonna have a 4-year-old for the rest of your life," I'd be like,
"That's not how that works."
Well, all right. So what's? I mean, why would you abort a kid with Down syndrome then?
Because you didn't want to deal with it, essentially. But 90% of people with Down syndrome, 90% of people with Down syndrome have mild to moderate cognitive impairments. Only 10% have severe cognitive impairments. Like, people with Down syndrome live on their own. A little bit later than normal, but you're not going to have to take care of them for the rest of your life.
And they can't tell you what level of Downs your kid's going to have?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look that far into it. I don't know.
All right.
They give a rate of like, low chance of your child having Down syndrome to high chance. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this isn't really a good argument. Then we can't really argue this if, But I mean,
we can argue anything we want.
Well, I know, but not without all the information. I mean,
I know it.
But no, yeah, I mean, people are going to die. Like, especially, how are we going to, set up a fucking McDonald's and a Starbucks on every other corner, but then give everybody universal health care? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's very counterintuitive.
What?
People eat like garbage. Yes, the number one killer of people is fucking heart disease. And yet we're trying to give everybody universal health. Like, we're trying to like counteract that or something. People are dying of heart disease because they eat shitty food.
People are going to eat shit no matter what because people are stupid.
So why are we trying to keep them alive? Why do we care if they're stupid?
That's what life is. You perpetuate the fucking human race.
No, not other people. Why would you perpetuate other people? Why not just have your own kids and perpetuate those people? Perpetuate your own people, man. People that you actually have like control over. People that you have some sort of say in. Here's how you're raised.
Okay, here's what I'm not getting though. Oh, stretch. With your libertarian shit, it's not shit, but like with your libertarian beliefs, like you, from what I hear at least, like you perpetuate the idea of like inherent universal rights or inherent rights to life and shit.
Well, yeah, everybody has rights.
Yeah, well then why is the right to life not a freedom?
Because what? Because the right to die is just as right as the right to live.
Oh, this is getting weird. Right to die is actually not a thing you're guaranteed, by the way. That's an interesting discussion.
What?
The right to die is actually like a phrase. That's like an assisted suicide thing.
Well, yeah, but naturally you're gonna die. I mean, you have the God-given right to die, just as you have the God-given right to live and
odd.
speak.
That's
And
such an odd way to think about it.
well, yeah, you're super young. Wait, give it another 10 years, and
Tell them all decrepit like you at age 32 thinking
Yeah.
about the right to die.
that's right.
Old man.
No, I mean, people just don't ponder about mortality enough.
Like I find it funny you think I haven't thought about death enough as someone who's been depressed since age 12. But like, okay.
Yeah, well, depression's very much self-centered and self-absorbed, I guess. It's not so much like you're thinking about the extinction of like a species or something like that, the lifespan of a species. Sorry.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that. I disagree with that.
What's that?
That you don't think about that shit?
Oh, okay. All right, well,
Yeah,
fair enough.
life seems pointless as fuck when you're depressed. Like, why does anything exist? Why does anybody else exist?
Life is pointless as fuck.
Life is pointless. That's it. That's depression. Like, no one matters. Nothing matters.
Okay, I mean,
man.
pretty much. That's why most people are religious.
You're right. Oh, I don't remember where we're going with this.
Yeah, I mean, nowhere really. Well, we were
Right.
talking about, like, what, it had to do with eugenics and stuff.
Yeah, because eugenics was a thing.
Yeah.
People got sterilized. People got murdered because they were disabled, because they were in a asylum, they were poor. Or that was like the basis of the eugenics movement. Like, if you were an immigrant and you didn't speak English that well, like, basically everyone who was not the norm of like a wealthy white American, to use your very favorite everything, was like seen as the lesser portion of
When was
society that
this?
caused issues, like the 20s to the fucking, I don't know, 50s.
What? No.
Oh yeah, institutions are still a thing. Willowbrook closed in like fucking, I don't know, 91, 89.
You make it sound like it was the norm. I mean, I'm sure this stuff exists. I mean, wasn't
It
that
was
the
in
whole
America, first
basis
of all.
of apartheid in South Africa?
I don't know enough about apartheid to talk to you about that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh fuck, I just lost my train of thought.
This stuff's not exclusive to
what the
Americans nor white people.
No, but I'm talking about America, and it was a racist thing.
People
Who were immigrants, huh?
People are inherently racist. All people.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
But do you know what the Tuskegee syphilis experiment was?
No.
I don't know when this was. Syphilis. You heard me.
No.
Hang on, I'm pulling it up because I need to know the
MK
years.
Ultra is.
American Ultra is a good movie. That's what you just made me think of. Hang on. Fucking Tuskegee syphilis experiment. This was some bullshit. Oh, this was in 1932 to 1972. This was a clinical study like conducted in the United States for 40 years, in which Black people, like specifically Black men, were infected with syphilis and then just watched. This is how we know what syphilis does. Like, it causes brain damage and it kills you, because we watched 40 years worth of people who were not informed about what this study was die of syphilis and like pass it to their kids and make families. Absolute trash.
Kind of makes you wonder, like, how, I'm just guessing here, the vast majority of modern medicine, it'll only exist because of studies like that.
Well, yeah, does that make it right? No.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it was like, the whole racism thing, no, that's not right. But yeah, I mean, the fact that now we've cured syphilis, I mean, yeah. So, yeah.
It was literally African American poor sharecroppers that they infected with syphilis, giving them no information about it, no ability to consent, and they gave them incentives. They gave them money, I'm pretty damn sure, and didn't tell them what was going on. And they passed it to their families and passed it to their kids, and they died of brain damage.
That's pretty crazy. But I mean,
yeah, it's fucking horrible. And that was the United States.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, most countries have done shit like that. I mean, that's kind of normal.
Shit without... Oh, okay, cool. That's kind of normal, I guess. No, that's not normal.
It doesn't make it right, but it is normal for studies like that to exist. That's...
I guess, but that's essentially what the eugenics movement was.
Sure.
In some way. And that ended in 1972. You know, they postulated with some Darwinian shit. It wasn't Darwin. I don't remember fucking what it was. But
that was a long time ago.
I know, but it was all that bullshit about like, we're all different. We have different cognitive abilities. You know, it's a racial thing that people of a darker skin tone are not as, they don't have the capacity of white people. Like, that's actually what the eugenics movement was.
Well, I mean, we are all different. And it kind of goes back to our,
Well, yeah, but your race doesn't determine your intelligence level.
It determines your physical ability in a lot of cases.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about intelligence. Like, your IQ doesn't go down just because you're born a different color.
Why does your physical ability change?
I don't know.
I mean, your brain's a muscle too, though.
I don't know that I agree that it does. You are in dangerous territory right now.
I mean, not really. I'm just saying facts.
Okay, cite me some sources.
Okay. Hang on.
It's not facts unless there's sources.
All right.
Especially if you're trying to tell me that eugenics is justified.
At the start of the 2014 season, NFL surveys revealed that the league was approximately 68% African American, 28% white, the remaining 4% comprising Asian Pacific Islander, non-white Hispanics, and those preferring a mixed race category. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at a 70-30 balance in NFL. And that doesn't really account for...
Is it really just height, though? You're looking at basketball, so I'm guessing it's just height.
Wait, I mean, yeah, but that's still a different... That's a difference in race, though. That's a measurable difference in people of color, I guess. I don't know why it's dangerous territory to also assume that there's other differences, too. And I mean, I'm not saying that there is. Like, I'm not saying that... Say that I believe that, but I don't know why it's racist to state facts.
No, it's not racist to state facts. It's racist to lump together. And you admit this too. It's racist to lump people together.
Yeah.
But to lump someone together is then, oh yeah, black people have lower intelligence. Fuck that.
Dude, the NBA, woo, buddy. NBA's like 75, 25, black to white.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to say about that, but
I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is a thing. Black people and white people are different physically.
Okay. That's not what I'm talking about, though.
You're talking about mentally.
Yeah, I'm not talking about who's better at playing basketball.
It's whatever. I agree. It's a weird discussion, and I don't know if it gets anybody anywhere. I mean, I think my point is just that, like, there is a difference between something there. I don't know if it's necessarily tied to... Why would it be tied to the color of your skin? Unless there is something deeper than just, like, a skin color.
You said you don't know why eugenics would have been based on skin color?
No. I'm just saying, I'm not sure that, like, physical differences between people are necessarily tied to skin color. These are just people who identify as African American, whatever that means.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm currently talking about eugenics from like the 20s to the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'll call it the 50s, I guess. The syphilis experiment didn't end until 72, but I'll call it like the 50s or 60s, I guess. There are essays on it. There are people. I'm literally looking at a poster right now from 1926, circa, saying some people are born to be a burden on the rest, and it's black people, it's people in poverty, it's people with disabilities, both mental and physical. Like, this was a population cleanse movement.
Well,
People were involuntarily sterilized in institutions. That happened. That was real. People were given syphilis so they would die. Like in a controlled experiment with no opportunity for consent. That was a death sentence for them and their families and their kids because they were Black and poor and vulnerable. And people who have, because this was the 20s, like this was the very early 21st or 20th century. We were pretty fresh off the tail of slavery. Sharecroppers were a thing. They still existed. Racism is a thing. If you had darker skin, we were threatened by you politically. White people felt threatened politically.
And poor.
And they were poor. Yeah, you're a burden on society was the idea. That was the feeling. Is like if you're poor, you don't contribute, and you're gonna. There was a bunch of like fake studies on, you know, poverty is passed genetically, and it's a nurture thing. But there were studies, and I need to pull this shit out from my disability studies class.
But there are poor people who are a drain on society, though.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean you need to murder them or like force them to stop having kids. Whose choice is that? Not ours.
I mean, it depends on how you determine what your role in society is, or what the government's role in society is, or what even society is. So, yeah, if we agree that we're going to have like a positive, productive society, and we have to maintain some control over that society, at some point somebody's going to step in and be like, well, these people aren't contributing to a productive society, and this is what we all agreed on.
Going to kill them?
They're going to die anyway.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying yes.
What the fuck?
I was just being facetious. They are going to die anyway, but I mean...
Yeah, people are going to die anyway. It doesn't mean your life should be ended prematurely because the government decides you're unworthy.
So then don't give the government that power then.
That's not like solely my choice. I'm not in charge of the government. I'm not in charge of the billion other people in the country.
No, but I mean, it's just I guess it's an idea. It's a frame of mind, I guess. I guess, most people have this idea that society is the entire world instead of like little pockets of society, instead of having our own local societies.
Oh, that's interesting. I have a hard time viewing society beyond a country at a time just because of the sheer volume of people and the scope of that geographically. But
I mean, I have a hard time viewing society any larger than a neighborhood at a time sometimes.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, I guess to really clarify there, I don't, eugenics, it's not a government sponsored eugenics is not a good thing. I mean, I feel like parents should have the choice to have their kid or not. Yeah, I think that kid's alive as soon as, you and I had this discussion earlier. Medically,
it was a mess.
Yeah, I mean, medically, that timeline starts as soon as you conceive, as soon as that egg is fertilized. That's when the medical timeline begins. That is fucking, T equals 0. So, I mean, in that sense, I believe that is a life that you're killing, but I mean, I also agree that you're the parent and this is your life that it's going to affect, and this is your child that you've created. So yeah, you also have the ability to kill your own child. It's whatever. I mean, that's your responsibility as a parent.
Do you give a shit about the sanctity of life at all?
Not really, because
that's a real question.
Not really, because people die. What is the sanctity of life? Why is life so sacred? You just go fucking make more of it. It's so easy to make more life. It's not hard.
Oh my God.
It is. I'm just speaking strictly in terms of meat that can walk around and speak.
Oh, that's my favorite thing I've heard all day. We are, as someone on Tumblr so sagely put it, we are just a brain piloting a slab of meat.
So, what
What
is
fucking
this?
matters then?
Nothing.
Oh my god. Well then what the fuck are we doing? Why would you do anything?
I don't know, because I've got a kid, because you have kids. Because you hope that you're going to have a kid, and then maybe your kid will have some kids, and then one day somebody will figure this out. I mean, it's all we can do. We're here, you know. This is kind of fun. I enjoy this. There's fun to be had here amongst all the pain and suffering and nerve gas and taxes.
I literally don't know what to say about that to you.
I mean, so what? I mean, what?
Like,
how do you feel about the sanctity of life then?
what the fuck else is there to care about? Like, even if nothing, like, oh my god, this is all a ride or whatever. Well, like, what's the point of even being here if you don't give a shit about anything?
I give a shit about
Like,
things.
if you literally, no, you don't. I ask you, what do you care about? And you say nothing.
Look, things.
What matters? Nothing.
The things that produce dopamine in my brain matter.
Cool. Drugs.
Not just drugs. Lots of things. Drugs do produce dopamine, but lots of things produce dopamine. Dopamine is like the driving force of people's give a shit meter.
Give a shit meter. I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people.
I do care about other people, but I'm not going to care about everybody. I don't have the capacity to give a shit about everybody. Why should I be expected to care about people that I've never met, that I'm never going to meet? Like, we don't have that much. We don't have that many resources. Personally, I don't have that many resources to care about somebody fucking 100 miles away from me, much less fucking on the other side of the globe. I don't have the capacity to care about somebody at the other end of my street, really. I mean, yeah, if like somebody were dragging him out in the yard, beating him to death, and I saw it, I'd stop and do something about it. But like, I mean, so how much am I supposed to care? I mean, what am I supposed to do? You just start up a change.org petition or something? Like, are you talking about actually caring and contributing and doing something, or just being an armchair activist?
I've never heard that phrase before. Is that a thing?
Yeah. Change.org is full of armchair activists.
Words? I don't know how to define myself because I don't have any fucking money to give to anybody, but like that's my profession. Like I like to think I'm doing something important.
I mean, maybe you are.
Ha! Thanks for the vote of confidence, honeybee.
Well, if it brings you happiness, like I care about that because, I love you.
You're right.
So I care about the things that, you enjoy and that you do and that drive you. You know what drives me is, fucking music.
I know it. That's what I was doing a lot of today. I'm done talking about whatever we were talking about. That's like, that's the easiest way for me to feel close to you when I'm having like my own fucking issues. Is put on the music that you give me. Because you only provided me with like 85 hours of music so far.
Yeah, that's just like the surface. I don't know if you ever like, maybe if you're ever feeling that way, I mean, just be like, hey, here's how I feel. Give me an album and I'll throw an album at you. Because that's how I consume music. I don't consume music by playlist. I just threw that playlist together, just like I say, off the top of my head.
I know it. Yeah, it's like 8.5 hours of music.
But I mean, for the most,
that you just vomited out in one sitting.
Yeah, I think it took me 15 minutes to put that together.
I know it did. I don't know. Whatever, big shit like that. And I asked some of those questions in class today. It's like we have to turn in 3 questions per reading, or 3 questions per class, like based on the reading we did for my 8:30. And my third question was like 4 questions because at the end of my question, I just fucking devolve. I get too existential for anybody's good. And my third one was like, because it's a class about refuge and refugees. Um, and my last question was like, when are we humane enough? Like, what can we realistically provide? How do we even navigate helping enough? Like, when is it enough? Like, that's the shit that pulls me apart. I don't know. Like, I care. It's important that we give a shit about people around the world. It could literally just as easily have been us if we just been born somewhere else. Like if our country or if my hometown was being fucking bombed, like I'd want someone to care. I'd want someone to be able to help. We just weren't born there. So we're not living that life. But I think global empathy is important. That's just my shit. And but it's incredibly draining. Like I feel that is like when is it enough? And what can we realistically do
You're also looking
as a
at a
country?
society of people who haven't done enough. You know, here, that's how I feel about it. And I might be really wrong about it, but I feel like you're looking at societies of people who haven't done enough. And instead of like, I mean, any sort of revolution takes like actual human sacrifice. I mean, somebody's going to have to go out there and die. You can't just run away from it.
Are you speaking about anything specific?
Yeah. I mean, every revolution ever, every political
Okay.
revolution. I mean, unfortunately,
I
it's a super rough time right now. I mean, we are looking at a super globalist economy, you know, where especially, you know, the United States, but everybody really are they're just pouring money into the Middle East because that's where all the oil is. That's where we're getting all the oil from. I heard a report recently that actually the United States is manufacturing is the leader in oil manufacturing right now, but or oil refining right now. I don't know. That was just kind of on a whim. I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
oil is like the cheapest energy in, you know, known to man right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what drives everything other than women.
Okay.
And
Was that just a life update or where are we going with that?
no, I mean, that's kind of just in general. I mean, you know, they say that, you know, men control everything, but the driving force behind men is certainly like whoever they're fucking. Like whatever gets them off. Whatever releases the most dopamine in their brains, that's what men are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, men do maintain some level of control, but it's not just on a whim. It's not just strictly for greed. Yeah, greed is a thing, but it's driven by something else. It's driven by gold digging whores. You know, like women who will sleep with rich men simply because they're rich. Like, I don't think there's any other motivation there. You know, some people are extremely antisocial and like loner and they just want a giant mansion to live in by themselves, I guess. But I would imagine the vast majority of people just want to sleep with women.
Okay, I have no idea how we got on this. What are you talking about?
So talking about that's kind of a weird tangent that came from like why America is taking on refugees, why we should take on refugees, like
Okay.
why other societies are falling apart as and who we even consider to be a refugee. There are specific requirements for someone to be a refugee.
Yes.
Somebody from fucking Panama City can't just come like screaming over here and like, oh, I'm a refugee or whatever. But I guess my slightly deeper point there is that a lot of Western civilization does just we create a lot of the destabilization in a lot of these countries. For
Yes, we do.
whatever reason. A lot of those reasons I'm not really sure of. I mean, it's all, I don't know. I don't know why we would be involved in a fucking country like Venezuela or something like that. It's obvious why we'd be involved in Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Afghanistan and shit. But I don't know, Cuba. Some of these places don't really make a whole lot of sense.
Well, that's what makes like our country's demonization of refugees so fucked up. Is we create or have a big hand in making these crises that displace people, and then
Yeah.
we won't take them in, even though it's our fucking fault. That's fucked up.
It's a weird situation. I mean, and that's kind of just where we're at. I mean, I don't know. The amount of welfare that we're giving people is crazy, I feel like. It's certainly the amount of welfare that we're giving out is being taken advantage of. And I think that's
To whom?
when
Do you mean like people in America? Do you mean refugees? Who are we talking about?
I think anybody who can take advantage of it. I mean, yeah.
How much assistance do you think refugees get? Because it's not a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Never been a refugee.
They're born in the good old US of A.
So I mean, how come so many illegals are over here? I mean, we've got what, 5 million illegals ish?
I don't know.
I mean, it's some fairly high number of illegal immigrants that are just here. And I don't know. I mean, they're here for some reason. Obviously, they're, the number is not getting smaller. They're not dying off. They're surviving.
Hang on. Before we jump to that, or before we transition into that, refugees get like 9 months of assistance from voluntary agencies. And then after that, they're just like, whoop, fuck off. Like if you're 90 and can't work, then you're shit out of luck. But every refugee gets 9 months of assistance once they've been admitted. Just so you know, just a little fun fact.
This has got to be the weirdest podcast I've ever recorded.
Not that that's too much, huh?
I said this has got to be the weirdest podcast I've ever recorded.
I know, this is fucking strange. I don't know what we're talking about. But that's what we talked about in class today. So you get 9 months of assistance.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is too much or too little, but like that's the fact. Like everyone, no matter what, if you get accepted in, you get 9 months of assistance. If you've got a sponsor, you get less money per month or per week or whatever, because you have someone like paying for your room and board and your utilities and shit and food. But whatever funding you get per capita per refugee, 80% goes to the person and 20% goes to the agency. So like give them transportation to jobs and shit, or like, pay for housing refugees and things like that. But no matter who you are, no matter what kind of refugee you are, you get 9 months. That's your time frame. But you don't get rich off of being a refugee. It's not like you get a lot of money. You don't milk the refugee system. You get barely enough to get by. Okay, now we can talk about whatever we were talking about next.
Yeah.
Welfare?
Well, whatever. I mean, we can dump all that stuff. We've talked enough about that stuff. Whatever.
Oh, we finally talked about politics. Oh my God. Porals and politics, apparently.
Yeah, a little bit of it. Yeah, fuck all that. This podcast is about us. How are we? What's going on? Sorry, I don't have any empathy.
That's okay. I'm used to it. All right, we were only part of the way through my list. I don't know. Fucking whatever. Piles of things that make me anxious. Yeah. Class discussion was just rough today. General class discussion about eugenics and selective abortion, whatever, and the abilities that we now have technologically to edit genetics. Fuck me up, dude. Like, I have borderline, we know this. I felt very, like, broken and stuck and, like, defective.
Okay, so why? Because you feel like you fall in... Sorry, you answer it.
Okay. Just the discussion... Well, that class is really fucking interesting, and I love it a lot. And we talk a lot about, like, why do we devalue disabilities? And, like, it's not like a class that's, our teacher is often like, I'm not trying to teach you how to think. This is just stuff to talk about and things to think about. Like, it's not a moral decision either way. Like, your personal choices are yours, but let's talk about why we collectively think about things the way we do. And that's my shit. That is right up my alley.
Yeah, is it anything more than a matter of productivity?
Huh?
Is it anything more than a matter of productivity?
What?
The devaluation of people with disabilities.
Productivity is part of it. A lot of like, we've had to talk about like quality of life versus sanctity of life. What is health? Shit like that. Like
What is
deciding what quality of life is, who determines what quality of life is, and who gets to live. Like, what's the threshold of when your life will have value to someone else or not? Like, who decides that?
okay? So this is a discussion we just had.
Yeah.
Nobody decides if you get to live because everybody dies. But like, who decides if your life has value? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I feel like the real answer there is the people who place value in your life. I mean, nobody's obligated to put value in someone else's life. Like, that shouldn't be an obligation. It's not an obligation. So, like, I mean, some people feel like we need to legislate. There's so much legislated morality, and that bothers me.
Can I like finish what I was talking about?
Sorry, yeah, sure.
I just want to like get out why this felt bad so I can stop talking about it. Please. Whatever, just we're talking about eugenics. People who have disabilities and emotional disabilities would have landed people in asylums, and they did land people in asylums throughout history. And I have mental issues. I don't care what you want to call them. I have been diagnosed. I have had diagnoses. I've had mental issues for like the majority of my life at this point. I've got pretty severe emotional trauma. And we were speaking about the idea of genetic editing and, how far does it go? Mental illnesses are not desirable traits. Like, what's to stop? Like, once you start that ball rolling with gene editing and like, oh, well, we can, delete or we can eradicate disabilities, like, where does that stop? Because BPD and mental illnesses run in families, even though they're not necessarily genetic, or sometimes the gene is there, but it's activated in different circumstances. And the ability to track traits like that and then decide whether they should be around or not is not comforting. And that just, especially in the context of my feelings about like, can ACAs even fucking recover in a group? Like, is it possible for us to even get better? Like, that hopeless shit. Like, that felt fucking bad. Like, I've, mm, I did a stupid worksheet about it because I was having feelings, obviously. And the thoughts were like, I am irreparably flawed. My life is worth less because I have like trauma. Like, my brain fucks up. That was the thought process. Feels bad, man. Okay, I'm done now.
This is kind of what I was getting at earlier. And I think you said something fairly significant here. In relation to your mental, what'd you call it? Mental disorder?
I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yours is not genetic. It's 100% related to trauma. Right?
It does run in families, though.
Sure. Like, Alzheimer's runs in my family.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I'll look out for that starting like next year.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I find it weird to call like something related to trauma a disorder.
Why?
Well, I mean, what makes it a disorder? I mean, it's just trauma. And I mean, I'm not like downplaying the severity of it or like, but a disorder, I mean, what's the difference between like a disorder and like a disability? You're not disabled.
I don't know the answer to that question. I think disorder is generally applied to mental stuff or I guess emotional stuff. I don't fucking know. But there are like physical disorders too. I don't know the etymological difference between disorder and disability. I don't know.
I guess it seems like maybe this is just an incorrect reading, but it seems like you're having trouble wondering if you can get past your trauma.
Yeah, because I feel like I've been doing fucking badly at it lately. I feel like I've been super up and down lately. Hi, I've been gaslit for 23 years and counting. Gaslighted, whatever. So, like, I feel like I haven't even been able to judge my 12-step program, like, the current bullshit going on. Like, I feel like I haven't even been able to judge that correctly. Like, I literally can't even understand that through a lens of a normal reaction. And that bothers me. Like, that's so frustrating.
But
It's like nothing works right up there. That's what it fucking feels like, is like I can't take in stimuli, like, in a normal way. Like, it fucks up every way that I think right now.
well, here's
Er,
sorry. I thought you
whatever.
were done. I'm sorry. Go,
That's all. I
go.
was gonna say, or it feels like it. That's all.
So my perception of this is that I mean all of your feelings are normal. All of your reactions are very normal. Like you but you don't have I think the issue that you have been gaslighted for your entire life by family members. It's just the way that you process those feelings. It's your confidence in those feelings. It's like you don't trust your own feelings. And this is kind of, I think this is kind of what I've been getting at the whole time is that like you, and I kind of told you this earlier, is that you think you're crazy. You seem to think you're crazy. But I mean, all of your feelings are normal. Like I tell you all the time that your feelings are real because they are real, but they're also normal. Like the feelings you have are very regular. Like everybody has these feelings. It's the way that you, I think what kind of like is just different is that you're just not confident in your feelings. You don't have any value in your feelings, I think maybe. Is that right?
Yeah, well, for before that even happens, before the doubt comes in, like, people who have BPD have really, really intense feelings. Like, the intensity of the emotions that I feel is not normal. You know, God, today was such a mess. Like, when shit like that happens, like, the world feels like it's ending, and it's not, like, I know that. But the intensity of what we feel as people who have BPD is, like, it's incredibly intense. It is not normal because we were raised in black and white households or things whatever, we were traumatized by people who felt that way. You know,
Yeah.
that one action changed retroactively changed your entire relationship or ruined the future or made everything great again. Like, it's so
It's a
when
learned
something
behavior.
happens it is, but it's not just like a confidence thing, it's it's my DBT book describes them as like overwhelming feelings or waves of overwhelming feelings, and that's how it is. Like, that's what it feels like. You're completely engulfed in that feeling while it's happening. So it's that inability to control it or like talk yourself out of it without a therapeutic technique like DBT where you distract yourself for a minute and then you come back to it. Like, once that shit subsided a little bit, then you can look at it. But it's hard. It's damn near impossible, at least at the beginning of DBT in my experience, to like reason with it while you're in it. You just have to get out of it and then look back at it and dissect it from there.
It sounds a lot like addiction.
No, yeah. Oh, that's actually a thing in ACA. Emotional intoxication, which is like, God, someone in the group said this to me in like my first week. It was not like to me, but it was in a meeting and we talked about it. It was really interesting. because you're talking about religious intoxication. And like people in AA or NA, they can reach for external drugs, but we've got all the shit we need inside of us. Like we've got an internal drugstore. Like you can just pick up a bottle of self-pity and fucking throw your night away with it. Or like we intoxicate ourselves with like a victim complex or with anger. Like we use our emotions like drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
right?
agree with
Isn't that
that.
interesting?
I'd agree
Isn't that
with
interesting?
that. Yeah. It is incredibly.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, but it does.
Thank you. I'm trying to hang on. I'm pondering, processing, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a learned behavior. Like, and now like it's just fucking out of control. Like I mean, just like you can't control what you feel at something,
Yes.
because you talk about like, oh yeah, you don't feel jealousy. Like you do, you just disregard it.
Right.
Like you can't stop the initial uprising of that feeling. Like you have that feeling. But that's what DBT is. That's also what CBT is DBT is like you can't deny that you have a feeling. That's not going to help anything. It's understanding that you cannot control whether you have a feeling or not. And then you can, at least like this is my experience with DBT and CBT, like together, after you've felt it and like allowed yourself to feel a thing, then you can restructure it. You can break it down and understand like what triggered that feeling, work it out, and then replace it with a healthier, like step by step. If I think this in a similar situation in the future, it'll produce less dysfunctional feelings. It's just finding what you can control, which are not, it's not the event and it's not the emotions. You can control the thoughts. That's it. So, I mean, for better or for worse, like that's just how it is. That's just how that goes. Because, like, I can't change that I've been fucking abused for 23 years and counting. Like, I can't change that. I can set my boundaries now, but I can't change the past. I can't change that I've been wired by my fucked up family to have intensely overwhelming emotions. Like, I can't do anything about that. I can just move forward and try and create healthier patterns with which to deal with them in the future and in the present. But the way that I can only speak for me, I guess, the way that my brain like twists a feeling into this huge monster that like I feel like I can't escape is just the worst. Like it makes me feel broken. And realistically in 5 years, well hopefully, I don't know, in 10 years, whatever, I'm not going to have BPD. Like it's a treatable thing. It's an overcomable thing. But moment to moment, day to day, it can get really overwhelming to keep facing stupid situations that like make me feel so intensely. When like it just feels it just ends up making me feel like a social burden in my relationships because like I wouldn't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with this shit. Whatever, it's just a lot of self-loathing. And that's a lot of anxious attachment stuff and BPD stuff is like we know that this is a lot. We don't like dealing with it. So why would we expect someone else to want to and be able to deal with it? It's a lot of devaluing of our own emotions and needs because we have no idea where the fucking threshold is for what's normal or what's acceptable or like what people are willing to deal with or like that we're worth that stuff because we've constantly had our boundaries fucked up so we don't know like how normal people act. And I don't know, we haven't had healthy relationships.
Having a healthy relationship's hard.
Huh?
Having a healthy relationship is hard.
For normal people?
I think so.
Really?
Am I not normal?
I don't know, you're with me.
I'm telling
So
you, it's hard.
can't confirm.
See, yeah, I don't know. We do need to wrap soon. This is such a weird episode. We did talk about some things, but And finally, we did finally get to the point after I quit interrupting you. Sorry.
It's okay.
They were interesting to talk about as they came up. I felt like I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to derail your point at any.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't feel derailed until I said, "Okay, let me finish, please."
Okay.
So, I mean, I would have told you earlier. I'll tell you when I feel things. I'm gonna get really insecure about him, but I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. Whatever, as in like what we're talking about, not you cutting me off. Like it's fine. I love you.
I love you. So I think my favorite part in all this is that, yeah, I mean, your feelings get overwhelming, but to you, sorry. I mean, I see where you're overwhelmed by your own feelings,
Yeah, man.
but like you don't have a problem like taking direction or like just listening to advice or just like stopping and listening, you know?
That's the shit I crave doing.
And maybe that's just, I don't know. I take it as like a sign of respect.
Like, how do you mean?
Um,
Like when you told me to come home and put on a podcast and clean up?
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
you took that, you kind of took it to heart. You seem to like respond well to that. Just as in like you just kind of needed/wanted some direction.
Yeah. I really did. Slash do.
And that's like, I don't know, and that's the kind of shit that I thrive on is control. I don't mean that like, you know, I don't need to control you. That's certainly not what I mean by that.
I know.
But I enjoy a level of control over like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm here for. We're in a mild dom sub dynamic.
Yeah.
We're in a mild daddy daughter little girl dynamic. Like
Hey.
I want you to give me loving guidance. Like I need that shit.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I mean, obviously, like I've made a career out of like, controlling things kind of. And I do feel comfortable in like an environment where I feel like I have some sort of control. But, I don't know. That just like saying that out loud sounds bad. I don't know why that sounds bad. I don't know why that's a negative thing. Is that a negative thing?
I don't think so. It's literally what I'm looking for. I don't think you're controlling. I don't think you're overbearing. But I know that I like what I like. I don't like being in charge in a relationship. Not to be like, you know, you make all of my decisions, but like you pay for shit of your own volition,
Yeah.
listeners. He made that rule. Like you pay for shit. If you're around, I don't get to put my jacket on my own. If you tell me what to do, I do it. And that doesn't happen often. Like you don't tell me what to do really. But I expend so much fucking energy taking care of myself because it's overwhelming and I've got shit to take care of. And I feel like I work really hard with my mental health and school. I'm being a fucking lazy right now because I'm running out of steam, but I'm still doing my shit. I'm still getting it done. But I put effort into the shit that I care about. And it's nice. It's really nice to have someone that I trust, and I do trust you to, you know, tell me what to do and let me not be in control. And you're comfortable in that position.
Yeah.
When I'm overwhelmed by a list of 15 things that I sent you that I am freaking out about, you can say, go home, clean up, and then show me so I can be proud of you. Like, that is invaluable to me. That is exactly what I need when I feel like that. Because my mind spins at 9,000 miles an hour. And I freak out about those things so much that I can't get them done because I don't know where to start, and it gets existential. And then it just ends up being more of an issue. And you ground me without judging me and just say, it's not going to take that long. Go home, put on a podcast, clean up. I love you.
Cool.
And you just, yeah.
So that kind of brings up a secondary point, and it's getting late. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we can really. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, wait, what?
I said, what was the secondary point? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, I thought you said, hold on a second. Sorry.
Oh, no.
The secondary point was like kind of our dominating, our dom relationship-ish, dom-sub relationship.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, I struggle with that. Mostly because of like, I think mostly because of like the little girl aspect.
Okay.
I find it difficult to be like sexually aggressive with you.
True.
Because you're very like precious to me, like in that sort of way. So
Yeah.
it's not like, so that area of it doesn't play into my like sexual aggression. And I don't know how to, I don't know.
I don't either, because like I like aggression.
Yeah, and I mean I can, yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm not like fending that off from you, because there's like aggressive shit that I like doing and that like I want to be called, that I want to do with you. Not like I'm feeling deprived, but like I hope I'm not limiting you from doing those things.
Example.
What do you mean?
Give me an example.
Oh, you won't call me a slut.
Right, yeah.
Well, you won't call me your slut. That's what I want to be called.
Yeah. And I think that's my issue, is that like I don't see you that way. Like I don't see you as a slut.
I'm not. I just really like having sex with you.
Right.
I don't know. I'm really into the dichotomy of like sweet and precious and like your thing to defile. Like I'm really into that dichotomy.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that.
I'm obviously super unfulfilled, so woo, deal breaker. No, I don't care.
Yeah, I know. We still have
I
like,
haven't brought it up like at all, so
Oh, I
it's not
know.
like I'm having a hard time with it.
Well, I'm gonna bring it up just because I mean, it's like it's there. Like those feelings are in me, like for sure. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's not easy to bring those out with you. I've never like defiled anyone before. That's not a thing that I've ever like. That just seems wrong.
Woo! I just got wet when you said that, though. Sorry, I'm really fucked up, I guess.
I mean, no. I mean,
Whew.
I've just never done it. It's weird to me. I mean, not weird, but I mean, you know what I mean. It's strange to me.
I mean, I don't understand how that's strange if you've got those feelings.
I mean, yeah. I think it's just because I don't see you as a slut. Like you're not. So
True, but it's not just about me. Like you've never done it with anyone. You said.
I mean, I've done that before, but not someone I've found precious. Not someone who's been, yeah.
Who's been?
I don't know, precious to me. Sacred, maybe.
Oh shit. So it would feel like, I can't think of the word, but it wouldn't feel right to like call me those things.
Yeah, I think so.
So I mean, some of the shit we already do, like I would consider under the umbrella of like use, not necessarily defilement, but like use.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the defilement that's yeah. That I'm kind of struggling with. I mean, I guess I don't know.
We're about to get into, well, We are already in TMI territory, but it depends on how graphic we're about to get. Some of the things we already do, like, I think fall under that category or could.
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh.
Like what?
I have never been fucked in the ass before. That is like, you own that completely. Completely. And that's, like, inherently kinda dirty, like, that's the
Yeah.
wrong hole. That's the out shoot, like,
I
whatever.
yeah, I mean,
It's like you're using me to get off, which is, like, really hot.
okay. I don't know why I
And
can't
it's
do that,
not
like
'cause huh?
well, hmm.
We are all over the place.
Yeah, we are. I wonder if, like, I don't know, I wonder if a lot of it has to do with just, like, the lack of masturbation? Like so, like, taking things that far, like, over text or whatever, don't really seem to make sense because there's not much I can do with them.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm not gonna get off to
Oh. Can I still send you boobs and stuff?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're sexy as hell. I mean, that kinda stuff, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think, like, taking that way too far, like, what I did I mean, I sent you all these pictures from the shower earlier, like, it was
Mhm.
like, at one point, I just had to, like, stop because I was gonna go too far, and then I was gonna, like, get myself off, and that's not what I'd really subscribe to here.
That's not what you subscribe to?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
It
mean
doesn't need to be over text.
sorry?
Doesn't need to be over text. Like, I'm talking about more of, like, our dynamic in person, like, when we fuck.
Hmm.
Because I know you've had, like, a master slave kind of thing, but it was mostly over text and it was completely sexual, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, you would give her, like, text commands and shit,
Yeah.
and that's not quite what I'm talking about.
Well, but this was in person-ish too. I mean, not it was.
Well, yeah, but also it was just sexual,
It was, yeah.
and it was much more power hinged than ours is.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know, I think the things that I like, even though they're kind of fucking weird, they're not even that weird, whatever, a lot of people like this shit. It's really, really intimate, or it's a way to be intimate. I know the word ownership scares the fuck out of you, so that could also be it.
What do you mean?
You avoid
Sure.
oh, yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't get into collaring for that reason.
Is that why?
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, where, like, a collar is, like, a symbol of ownership or a relationship, and you're like, "Well, that's just marriage, and if I give you something that, like, means that I own you, like, what's the difference?" And that cheapens marriage.
Well, yeah, so I'm fine with that, but I'm just not looking to cheapen the marriage aspect of it. I'm
You're fine
fine
with what?
with marriage.
Well, obviously.
Well, I
But
think it defeats your point about ownership though.
hang on. Start over.
Like I'm fine with the idea of marriage and like ownership in that sort of way. But like
Mm.
I don't know, collaring just seems so much like marriage to me that like it does seem to cheapen marriage. So it's I don't think I'm necessarily opposed to collaring because it's kind of what marriage would be like. I mean, I could, that's kind of what marriage is.
Yeah,
So I'm not
but, like,
opposed to that. But I'm opposed to it in like in a way that's not serious.
I'm I don't quite get why we're not on the same page here. I'm not talking about something frivolous, but like I'm with you. So, and it's the idea of ownership seems to be like a thing that you don't appreciate. Or like I don't think we're understanding each other.
I don't disagree.
Hmm. I also didn't mean for that to be as confrontational as it was, but like it's the appreciation is just not like mutual here. I think we're on different pages about it. Same book, but we are on different pages.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like an intimacy thing.
I don't know. Last time we brought this up, you seemed to understand my position, though.
It took a long time to get there.
Well, but now I don't know. Now it sounds like you don't necessarily agree with my point.
I mean, I can understand your point and not agree with it at the same time.
Right. Last time it sounded like you agreed with it.
I just finally understood what you were talking about last time.
Okay.
That took a couple hours for us to like understand what the other one was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. I'm interested in fleshing that out with you then.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but like,
I don't even know. Like, I don't know that I'm getting at like being collared by you or anything. I don't know. I mean, I think I really want that somewhere in there. Like, I don't know. This is a different relationship than I was intending to get into when I got on Bumble. Like, I was specifically looking for like a kinky relationship. And ours is like slight. It definitely is not the main dynamic. You know, we kind of flip it on and off, which is not unfulfilling. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I was totally looking for like specifically kinky and like that dynamic to be most of like how we related. And so I don't know, I'm having to like renegotiate with myself what degree to which I want those things. Like how important is collaring to me in this relationship? You know, I'm still kind of working on that, on fleshing that out with myself.
like, do you feel like you're sacrificing something?
Huh?
Do you feel like you're sacrificing something?
That's what I'm figuring out. Because when we talked about it last time, the only other time we talked about this, it was really just like, "Oh, I finally get what you mean now." Because the first time you said it or we talked about it, whatever, it felt like you were saying you didn't wanna, like, be serious with me, or, like, that the idea of marrying me one day was like, "Fuck no." Which
Right.
yeah.
But
And so I was like, "Wow, I feel super rejected." But then we talked about it, and I get what you mean.
yeah, I think my point is that it's not serious enough.
Was not serious enough?
Collaring.
Oh.
Like, I'm not saying I'm going to marry you today, but like, I still don't understand the difference between collaring and marriage, other than the fact that collaring's not real and marriage is real.
I mean, that is the difference.
Okay. I'd rather just wait and marry you because it's real.
I mean, anything's real if you make it that way. Like,
Yes, you are correct.
I mean, what makes marriage real is just a government paper that you probably don't believe in anyways.
Okay, well, yes, definitely. So, and I guess that's the point a little further into that is that I'm certainly not ready to marry you today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not trying to marry you right now.
Exactly. So, I think that's most of my point is that like I'm not trying to collar you today either for that same reason
Mhm.
because I'd rather just marry you because it's the same to me it's the same it sounds like the same thing.
I'm still trying to work through with me what the difference is.
Okay. I mean, is collaring just purely sexual?
No, it can be.
Right.
In the past, it's been either or for me. There are a lot of emotions wrapped up in collaring. The only other person that has collared me, like, it was me pushing for it, and they didn't really give a shit either way. They had their own kink that I was participating in, and that was the more important part. So they just let me do what I wanted,
Mhm.
which was really awful. Like, felt like trash.
Mhm.
So I don't know. There's a lot of emotions wrapped up in that too. It's definitely not just sexual.
Okay. So, all right. I think my point stands for now then.
Okay.
Like, so yeah, I'm down for that, but I want it to be serious.
Yeah.
Like, if it's going to be ownership, it's going to be ownership.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
like, that's going to be something that like, I mean, that's serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's about all.
peace out.
Peace out.